Hi, my name is Morgan Castaing, and I will be demonstrating an effective presentation for professional development with adult learners today. I will first be talking about Malcolm Knowles and his 5 principles about andragogy. This is important for us to know because the 5 principles are exactly how our audience is going to take in that information that we are presenting. So it's very important that we as presenters understand how our audience is learning the information. It is very different from pedagogy because pedagogy is more geared towards our adolescent learners, whereas andragogy is geared towards our adult learners. There are 5 of them. It is self-concept, adult learner experience, readiness to learn, orientation to learning, and motivate to learn. These 5 things tells us how our adult learners are going to be receptive to the things that we are presenting. So we want to make sure that we are creating curriculum and designing presentations that will meet the needs of these adult learners. I will first be It is important as we are presenting our professional development or any other presentation that we are memorizing or remembering our andragogy principles that Malcolm Knowles has presented to us. It is important that we are remembering that we're presenting to professionals. These adult learners, the first word in professional development is a professional, so we want to make sure that we are treating them as the professional that they are. We need to provide relevant information to make sure that we are taking their time serious and showing them that we respect their time and them being there. So it needs to be relevant to that audience that we are presenting to. Adult learners have specific needs and their desires in their learning process. So depending on who you're presenting to and who your audience may be, we want to make sure that we are presenting and delivering to those specific needs. For example, if it is a middle school math classroom, we want to make sure that we're presenting middle school classroom math ideas for engagement, for strategies, rather than focusing on elementary. So we want to make sure that we're providing information that is relevant to them and their position. And we also want to create a problem-based learning environment to encourage engagement and critical thinking skills. So just like our other adolescent learners, we also want to activate that critical thinking with our adult learners, and we can do that through problem-based learning or problem-based thinking with these adult learners and presentations. So giving them an activity to do, and then they can take that back with them into the classroom, things like that. That's what we need to remember when we are presenting for these adult learners. Furthermore, when we're delivering an effective presentation, we want to make sure that we are respectful to our learners and our audience time. So if we have a given schedule, it is important to stick to that given schedule so that they are prepared and they know what they are expecting for the day. It is also important to provide choices. So for example, if we are presenting to a large population, we want to make sure that we can provide different outlets or different breakout rooms that the learners are able to choose from. That way it kind of helps motivate them to and encourage them to choose what they want to continue their education with. Those choices will mean a lot for them, and it'll keep them engaged and keep them wanting to come back for more. Another thing is to treat the adult learners like the adults. So even though they might be teachers, or if we are presenting to teachers, make sure we are treating them like the professional adults that they are. And also another thing would be to ask for feedback and follow-up. So at the end of the presentation, if you have a feedback survey you could provide for them and take that and continue to improve for the next time, that would show a great dedication to these audience people and following up with them to make sure that they're understanding the material that was presented, or to see if they are implementing it into their classroom and providing any extra help that they need or that they think is necessary. As a presenter, it is important to be aware of any personal or implicit bias that you may have. It is also important to make sure that we are working to be aware of the unconscious bias that we may have and work towards consciously making sure that we are not acting upon it. So we need to understand that everyone's learning experience may be different, and when we are presenting our presentations, that we are not only gearing it towards the way that us as a presenter like to learn, that we present in many different options and many different ways that all learners are able to be receptive to our presentation. Another thing would be to be transparent with them, as well as provide professional development with an open dialogue. So being able to have an open conversation about things without any opinions or negative inputs about certain topics, and then also providing a confidential survey to them to see where there are those gaps and those biases and how we can improve our presentations with going forward. Thank you for watching my presentation. On this slide, you'll be able to find any resources or references that I use to encourage and implement with this presentation. I hope you